Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and Wargames. In this video we will try a new format, something that I've been wanting to do for a while. We will talk about the latest releases that have been announced for Dystopian Wars. Usually I try to wait to have the boxes so I can make an unboxing and an analysis, but here I was quite surprised by a couple of the boxes that were rumored and were announced, and there is a little bit more than I expected actually, so let's have a look together. So as we can see, there's, as always, this is a blog format of Warcradle, and there is always some terrain and everything. We'll focus on what I know, which is Dystopian Wars. And as we can see, we have the announcement of the Hachiman Battlefleet set. This is quite interesting, this box, because it comes right after the release of the Empire Starter set, which was the first time we had seen those little submarines, if I can find them, all the different variation of the Japanese submarines of the Empire subfaction. And now we have the real box of the Hachiman. It's called a Hachiman box, but there are few variants that you can build with it, and this is quite interesting already. And the more interesting thing even is, like, look at that, look at everything that you got. I must admit I did not expect as many sprues on this box. I thought you would have like a couple submarines, like the Mass 2 submarines and some Mass 1 submarines as well, but damn, this box is as packed as what we had, for example, for the Victory Battlefleet set. So it makes me believe that it will be one of the pricier box, but damn, this is like a whole fleet in a box. If we have a look, you have 3 Mass 2 cruisers of the surface cruisers, 3 submarines. You're gonna have 6 of these Mass 1 frigates, 3 of the newer Sakata destroyers, Mass 1s as well, 3 Mass 1 submarines, the Chubus, and a lot, like I think it's like 12 of the Cheetah escorts, plus 3 SRS token, plus 3 exosubs token. Like, it starts to be really quite a lot. That is quite impressive and quite nice, and it makes me think, like, if you are a new player and you want to start the Empire, this is a very good box. And even if you bought the Empire starter set, and only one of it, you can absolutely take the Empire starter set and buy this Hachiman on the top, or pre-order, because it's only in pre-order right now. And this is going to be everything you need to play Japanese, because you're going to have like 5 of surface cruisers, 5 of the submarine cruisers, and a lot of Mass 1s, and you're going to have 2 very efficient flagships. Now the flagships, let's talk about them for a second. We have the Hachiman, which looks even cooler than what I thought it would. Like, we had some artwork that showed us like this little platform in the rear, but I just love this sort of like mag rail acceleration launch bay to send the exosub. It looks amazing. It looks very like Empire-y, like Japanese-y, let's say. And yeah, it just looks very tough. It is a very good ship, and we'll talk about it in a second. What we also have on the same chassis, we have the Akita class super battleship, which which is like the Congo, but even tougher and stronger. Like, it has a little shield here directly in the resin. It's quite cool. It has 4 heavy gun batteries, and it's just very tough battleship. What you also have is this Matsumoto generator ship, and I did not expect it to look like this. Like, it has these weird generators in the rear, and it has these crystal clear resin in the front to make it like these kind of telescopes to see very far. And the concept is amazing, and but the ship is going to be quite interesting. It has very specific rules. We will not go in details right now in the rules, but I did have a look at the Akita, for example, and as you can see, it is quite one of the pricier ships, but it has like armor 8, citadel 17 like the Congo, but it has also 11 hull points before it starts to degrade. Absolutely insane. It has an internal shield generator, very well, and what I would recommend is you can replace one of the heavy gun battery. So for example, you can replace this heavy gun battery that is in the rear, like this one, and you put another defensive generator, for example an interface generator. I think you can have, indeed you can, or a great wall generator. Like, either of those are gonna make it so tanky. Plus it has priority signals, so it's very efficient as well. Though I have to say, my favorite is probably going to be the Hachiman assault carriers, which can send 6 exosubs. If you start to make some of the submarine Mass 2s that can send it as well, you're gonna just cover the board with those, and they are extremely efficient. Plus the Hachiman, as I said, look very cool. And if you want to build it as a Matsumoto, or you want to magnetize, as always, it's easier, like it's better to magnetize if you can do it. You're gonna have this. I'm not going to say what it is. It's basically a generator ship, meaning that it gives its generators around, so it's very efficient. So efficient that this is probably one of the reasons they nerfed the shield generator in itself, because this kind of ship would have been completely OP with it. And it has a very interesting cannon. We will not talk in detail here, but the interesting thing about the Matsumoto is that it has a named variant, if I can find it. Yeah, this one, which costs a lot, but it's tanky enough, and it has Fortunes of War, but you don't choose the generators, but it has quite a few. So yeah, you have those very interesting ships for the Empire. We will not make a full review. If you want to have a review, we have an Empire How to Start video, which will explain to you all about these different classes of ships and submarines, etc, etc. Just know, in sum up, this is a very good box. I need to check how much it will cost. Damn, I'm very excited to bring the Hachiman on the table alongside some of the submarines. The Mizuchi submarines especially. Okay. And the second big box that was announced is the Gloriana Battlefleet set. And again, I was expecting a smaller-ish box, but damn, look at all that we have. We have the Gloriana itself, which looks huge, and we have 6 Caliburns, no, 8 Caliburns, I don't know how to count, 4 of the Excaliburs, 2, and even more aircrafts. Like this starts to be quite a lot. Again, need to check how pricey it will be. Yeah, just for having all of these escort ships, it's going to be a very interesting box, regardless of what you have, especially if you bought the the Crown starters. This is going to be very helpful, whether the one-player starter or the Strategium Skies. It's going to be a very good combo, and even if you have the Avalon Battlefleet set, this is going to go very well with it. Let's just have a look for a second at the Gloriana. First of all, it's painted already and looks glorious. And yeah, I've heard some people saying like, yeah, it's a little bit expensive for what it does in terms of points. But like, I think if you play it right, especially with Strategic Rival, it's gonna get its point cost back. And the interesting thing with this kit is, again, you can have other variants, especially this one, which is very fun, is the Adventurer Grand Indiaman, and it unlocks the East India Trade Company subfaction. If this is your flagship, all the ships in its battle fleet will get this trait. So this is very interesting, actually, and I'm really looking forward to try it in game. Plus it looks good with the little support cranes in the back. But my favorite, again, is not this one, it's this one, the Camelot High Guardian, because if you want to play a little bit competitive, I really like that. It just boosts your shields a lot, and it forces your opponent to spend like 1 or 2 cards every turn, because if he doesn't do that, then you will gain so many shield points that you will basically be invincible during this turn. So very good ship, the Camelot, plus it has an interesting named variant that unlocks it for the other subfaction, for the Canadians, actually. So my recommendation, as always, magnetize, but if you don't want to magnetize, build the Camelot. Here it's going to be, because it's just going to be so efficient. Or build the Grand Indiaman, because it unlocks a subfaction. And again, just a lot of value in this box set. Even if it is at something like £90 or £100, it's gonna be a lot of value because you have so much plastic. Look at this. And the last 2 things we're gonna skip quickly over. We have the Imperial Aerial Squadron. By the time you watch this video, probably you've already seen our unboxing of the Zeppelin Battlefleet set, or otherwise it's going to come very soon. It's going to be exactly the same box, except that without the Zeppelin itself, obviously. Very good complement. If you already have the Strategium Skies and a Zeppelin Battlefleet, maybe it's not as needed, but if you just have the single Zeppelin or the single Strategium Skies, and you want to have a little bit more of the Zeppelins, so you can really have a huge battle fleet of Zeppelins, or even only Zeppelins on the table, which sounds like a fun scenario, this is going to be a very good box for you. And last but not least, is going to be the Italian frontline squadrons, because we have the Mars Battlefleet set that has been released in Mars, and now you can have some additional ships, and it is quite good because the cruisers are extremely efficient. As we've seen in the unboxing, I talked a little bit about it, and there's going to be another video explaining how to build it, but basically it's very, very efficient. The mass ones are quite good, and you want a large pack, like a single large pack of it, to go in the flank and to cover each other with their entire defenses. And finally, you get 4 of the escorts, which is very good because it's useful for the Italians, obviously, but also for all the other factions. For the French, for the South Americans, it's going to be very efficient. Having 8 Alliance escort tokens is not going to be too much, because they do love their escort tokens, thanks to coordinated support. And that is going to be it for the Dystopian Wars releases. There is also some terrain set with cybernetic Egyptians, which, well, we all know with which faction and game you should play them with, but they are generic enough that if you want to use them for, I don't know, for example, Mars Code Aurora or some other generic sci-fi games, they could work very well indeed. This is going to be it. I just wanted to make a quick reaction video to these announcements. Very, very excited for the Hachiman, such a great box, and the Gloriana that we had been waiting for such a long time is finally here. Thank you very much for having watched until the end. Until the next video, remember to keep taking care of those around you and to keep spreading the love. Bye!